I'll share some happenings of last night's. The first item on the agenda was about the efforts of various agencies to address issues brought before it regarding the COVID-19. Updates relative were presented by Health Secretary Francisco Duque, who initially reported that the Philippines does not have new positive case of COVID-19 in the last 4 weeks. This means that as of present time, the Philippines has 0 cases of persons suffering from the virus. Secretary Duque then proceeded to report that the World Health Organization has acknowledged our efforts in implementing necessary measures, as we are among the 9 countries which have been able to contain the spread of the virus. Secretary Duque, however, added that the Philippines needs to be ready anytime for whatever possibility the virus may cause our country and our people. Secretary Duque also summarized government responses to COVID-19 as follows: incident management, planning and multi-sectoral coordination, surveillance and risk assessment, laboratory and diagnostic capacity, clinical best practice and management, successful repatriation of all 49 Filipinos from Wuhan, possession resources such as personal protective equipment, risk communication, and community engagement. Also, imposition of travel ban on China, Hong Kong, and Macau, and selected areas in South Korea, and operational logistics. The Interagency Task Force is currently holding its 9th meeting at the Department of Health to continue discussing the measures of the government concerning the virus. Then after that, it was Secretary Maynard Guevara who discussed the Bureau of Immigration's present situation in relation to the pastillas bribery scheme. He told the cabinet that he has already directed the NBI to investigate the corrupt practices in the airport terminals, the focus of which would be 2 main areas, namely human trafficking involving outbound passengers, mostly overseas workers, and escort of facilitation services involving foreign nationals entering Philippine territory without proper or falsified documentation. And then after that was the report on the outlook and action plan of the government in preparation for summer. Secretary Roy Simatu of the Environment and Natural Resource Department discussed the water supply outlook. Secretary Simatu presented his recent inspection of the Angat Dam, where he looked into the capabilities and limitations of the dam, which supplies more than 97% of the total water supply requirement of Metro Manila. Secretary Roy said, or rather assured the President, that we will have enough water for the year. For his part, Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi tackled the preparations of the government relative to the power sector for short-term and long-term outlook, as well as the corrective policy issuances being undertaken by the Energy Department. Secretary Cusi likewise sought the approval of the issuance of a proposed executive order for the inclusion of nuclear power in the country's energy mix, as the Philippines is expected to have a rapid growth in electricity demand, in which 24/7 power is essential and necessary. Thereafter, Bangko Sentral Governor Benjamin Jokno discussed the proposed legislative amendments to RA 9160, or the Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2001, AMLA, and RA 9372, or the Human Security Act of 2007. The successful passage of key amendments to the AMLA and the Human Security Act, according to Secretary or to Governor Jokno, will complement or boost our efforts towards an A credit rating for the country. And lastly, we tackled the anti-red tape authority issue, where Director General Jeremiah Belhica informed the Cabinet of the national effort for the harmonization of efficiency measures of interrelated agencies program, as well as of the endeavors which have been undertaken by ARTA to resolve red tape in the bureaucracy. In the same meeting, Secretary of Interior Local Government Eduardo Anya was able to brief the President and the Cabinet regarding the hostage-taking incident which took place yesterday in Green Hills. Ready for your queries.
Questions, MPC? On COVID muna or ano? Okay, Maricel.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. Sir, may we know what was the reaction of the President after the report of Secretary Anyo on the hostage-taking incident yesterday at Green Hills?
Well, he was happy that there was no casualty except for one. There was only one.
But so far,
And
sir...
then he related what he did when he was mayor.
What's your assessment, sir, as a Malacañang official, on how the local officials and the police handled the incident yesterday?
Well, I understand there have been some criticisms, and General Gamboa said it was tactical. In other words, apparently the main concern is the safety of the 30 hostages, and since they survived and they're alive, I think we should welcome that.
But do you think it's proper to give the hostage taker time to rant before the media and said his...
I do not know what transpired between the negotiator and the hostage taker. That could be one of the terms that they agreed upon for his surrender.
So in general, you're satisfied with how they...
For as long as people are alive, we welcome it.
Thank you, sir.
May follow-up doon? Other issue? Chona?
Sir, dun sa Pastilla scheme na discuss kagabi, nabanggit din po ba kay Presidente yung sinasangkot si dating Justice Secretary Aguirre?
It was not mentioned there. Nothing was mentioned about him.
Yung binabanggit, sir, ni Presidente na there's more or marami pang opisyal ang sisibakin.
What was presented there was what they will do about it. How they will tackle, how there should be a separate room and for the immigration officials to interview that the public can see. In other words, the immigration official be transparent in any kind of investigation or interview that they will be conducted in reference to those coming in and going out. In other words, there should be no secrecy in conversations between an immigration official and a passenger.
Yung mga sinibak, sir, sa pwesto dati, anong status ngayon? May kakasuhan na ba sila? Will the government file charges na?
The moment we see there is probable cause, they will be sued, definitely.
May follow-up doon? Marian?
Hi,
Arian.
sir. Sir, last time sabi nyo i-discuss sa cabinet meeting yung performance ni Commissioner Morente. Na-discuss po ba kagabi?
Well, Commissioner Morente was there.
Okay, sir. And ano pong sabi ni President?
No, he presented, well, apparently he's giving Commissioner Morente a chance to do some
Do some.
innovations in the Customs Department, or rather in the Immigration Department.
Okay, sir. And then, sir, what did Commissioner Morente tell the President about the Pastillas bribery scheme? Nag-report din po ba siya kagabi?
Well, he reported on what they intend to do about it. In other words, there are they have. In fact, I think they're introducing an executive order, if I'm not mistaken,
And is the President
to address
open?
certain issues that have been raised.
Okay, sir. And then what do they, yung EO na ito, sir, ano pong purpose and anong sabi po ni President Duterte? Will he issue
But
one?
I think he's giving Commissioner Morente a chance
A chance to?
to do something about the problem in the immigration.
Okay, and how long is the chance that the President is
That
giving?
depends, siguro. Let's see.
Okay, sir. Pero iniimbestigahan din po ba si Commissioner Morente?
Walang sinabi, but the tone there is apparently he's not involved.
So-
Otherwise, kung involved yun, itinanggal na yun.
So he is excluded from the investigation of the NBI?
The president, as he already said in public, kilala niya and he believes in him.
But sir, is he excluded from the investigation?
Nobody, let me make it very clear. There is nobody who is exempted from any investigation when there is a complaint of corruption. Regardless of who you are, if there is a complaint, you will be investigated.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Arian. May follow-up? Other issue? Ace and then Jillian.
Secretary, regarding the inclusion of nuclear in the energy mix, did the President approve the proposed EO, or did he agree with the Energy Secretary that there should be an EO including nuclear energy in the energy mix?
If I am not mistaken, the proposed EO was approved.
So it was approved. Did you discuss the possible revival of the Bataan nuclear power plant?
No,
or
that was not touched.
how about the building of new facilities, nuclear energy facilities?
I don't remember being discussed.
So it's just the EO for now.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Secretary.
May follow-up doon? Follow-up, Julie.
Sir, what were the parameters pa of the EO? Assuming that there's a draft already or an idea presented to the President about the EO, including nuclear energy, what is the parameters of that proposal? Kung hindi po nabanggit yung Bataan,
I'm not familiar with the proposal, but we will share it with you as soon as it is.
What were the President's thoughts when he approved the EO?
I was just listening. Basta in-approve ng cabinet.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Okay, other issue. Other issue?
Good
Jillian.
afternoon, sir. Sir, good afternoon. You mentioned about it was mentioned about the water situation,
Yes.
that the Environment Secretary said we have enough water for until the end of this year. Are there any plans on how to deal with what's going to happen next year and the coming years, and if this is if there's something that the government is doing about it right now?
But what I heard last night was they're assuring us that there will be no water problem. There's doing something about it.
No water problem for this year.
Yes, for this year.
But for the next year and the coming years,
And that goes
is that
without
all?
saying. Kung walang problema ngayon, ibig sabihin, pati subsequent years. Kasama yun sa kanila mga plano. Meron silang mga projects doon. May 2020, 2021, 2022.
Have they mentioned about plans to create the Kaliwa Dam, like update,
what?
yung updates on Kaliwa Dam?
Ang narinig ko kagabi, parang may ground, ano tawag doon? Ground breaking sa isang kaliwa dam. Dalawa yata yun, di ba? There are two. There are two kaliwa dams.
So they're done already with the design phase of the.
I think so, because may groundbreaking na this July, August.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
May follow-up other issue. Trisha?
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. Sir, regarding the coup
Tingala.
sa Congress po, yung coup plot talks about coup. Sir, what are the thoughts of Malacañang about this? Is it timely to be talking about this coup plot? Kasi diba mention po ng House kaya hindi nila matackle yung ABS-CBN franchise because there are a lot of things happening. Like there's COVID and a lot of issues. Is it timely to even be tackling about this coup issue?
You know, the president, as his want, does not really interfere with the intramurals inside Congress. I think whatever controversy it has now, it's being resolved. And I heard Secretary or Speaker Alan saying that they'll be tackling that franchise thing.
Okay, may follow-up doon? Ace?
Secretary, although you somehow answered this already, any statement on the changes in the leadership in the House? Nagkaroon yata ng balasahan dun sa committees sa House. Isa sa mga naalis si Congressman Ungab at ngayon sinasabi ng hugpong hindi nila gusto yung pagkaalis kay Congressman Ungab sa Appropriations Committee. What's your take on
The
this?
policy of the president says he'd not interfere with the intramurals inside Congress.
Don't you think this is a crack doon sa allies ng presidente? Both of them are allies of the president and apparently there are intramurals.
Even if they have intramurals there, if all of them are allies of the president, so there's no crack. There will be a crack if those fighting each other are saying that we're not for the president.
Itong reef na to, how would this affect the agenda of the development agenda of the administration given that you need Congress to pass laws for your priority measures?
I don't think there is a rip, no? Because I was listening to the congressman being interviewed this morning. Wala naman daw eh. What ang sabi ni Congressman sino yun? Brasal? One congressman was being interviewed. He said the removal of one congressman to that post was more of an issue of loss of confidence because he made certain alignments that the speaker didn't know. Yun lang, parang yun lang naman yun.
Okay, these developments in the House, how would this affect?
I don't think it will affect
The agenda, development.
I don't think it will affect the legislative agenda because all of them support the agenda of the president, or most of them anyway.
Thank you, Sec.
Julie?
Sir, last night, House Speaker Alan Cayetano met with the NP, and according to
With whom?
to the Nationalista Party, and according to this story on Rappler, he allegedly said, we don't really need to talk. Ang message ko lang sa kanya, referring to Velasco, trabaho lang tayo. Wag magsiraan, wag tayo mag-intrigahan, at wag kang matatakot na hindi ka magiging speaker. Kasi kung yan talaga ang gusto ni Presidente and he's the head of our coalition, mangyari yun, di ba? Yun lang yun. And then he goes on, I mean, what more can I say? Except na pagdating ng araw at sabi ng Pangulo na time to change, edi change. Change court, change court. If we're saying that the President does not interfere, pero by the tone of Speaker Cayetano's statements, parang they're still, gonna follow whatever the President says about what the House leadership should be.
You're forgetting that it was them who asked the president to intercede. Sila naman ang humingi, di ba, at that time? Ayaw niya makialam. So they're just being consistent. Kung ano na pag-usapan nila, because to their minds, it will be offensive when you ask somebody to broker for you and settle things between you and the other side, and then tapos you will not honor it. O hindi parang binaliwala mo yung hiningan mo ng tulong.
Pero kasi parang yung dating, sir, is may direct hand pa rin si Pangulo sa House leadership.
Walang direct hand si Presidente dyan. Eh, kita mo yung nagkaroon ng change of leadership. Wala siyang kaalam-alam. Nagpalit na pala ng leadership sa Speaker. seat.
Sir, if the what happened last July happens again, that they seek the help of the president in resolving the issue.
If what?
If di ba nangyari last year, they sought the help of the president in resolving the leadership issue. If it happens again, na hingin nila ulit yung advice or intervention ng presidente, will he do it? Will he again broker another term sharing deal?
Ay, unang-una, hindi natin alam kung gagawin nila yan. Pangalawa, hindi natin alam kung papayag si Presidente.
Pero kasi may statement si Speaker Cayetano na he's telling Velasco na magiging House Speaker ka if the President says so. So, they're still gonna defer to whatever the
Ibig
President
sabihin ni
says.
Speaker Alan, may pinag-usapan na tayo, di ba? Humingi tayo ng tulong kay Presidente, inayos na nga tayong dalawa. So, let's honor it. Parang ganun na sinasabi niya.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, questions, IPC? No more? Okay. Ian?
Sec, good afternoon po.
Good afternoon.
Nabanggit po ni Secretary Dominguez at may report na ukol dito na sinabi daw ng Pangulo, may order ang Pangulo na imbestigahan yung influx ng dirty money sa Philippines. Yung nakakapasok po sa bansa natin.
Yeah, palagi naman yun, I heard him say that. Iimbestigahan talaga yun. And Secretary Dominguez is the one investigating it.
Sir, medyo malalaking pera ito, no? Yung mga nakakapasok, parang sort of money laundering na po ito.
Exactly, kaya nga iimbestigahan. Yun ang report. Hindi natin alam kung totoo o hindi. That's why, precisely, magkakaroon ng probe.
Sino po inatasan ng Pangulo doon? NBI din po ba mag-imbestiga doon?
Usually, it's initially palagi yung Department of Finance. Unless the Secretary asked the other agency, police agency, to help in the investigation.
Sir, sa ibang topic po, sinabi po ni Senate President Soto na regarding dun sa resolution ng Senate sa VFA, nakausap na raw nila ang Executive Department and amenable naman daw ang Executive Department dun sa resolution nila.
Oo, anong ibig sabihin nun?
Di po ba may sinabmit po sila dun sa na resolution papunta po sa Supreme Court?
Nag-file sila sa Supreme Court? Bakit Supreme Court? Anong kaugnayan ng Supreme Court? Parang wala. Ha?
Para daw, sir, they're going to the Supreme Court para daw ma-define at ma-categorize anong role ng Senate sa pag-a-abrogate ng mga treaties, executive agreements.
Oh, then we will let the Supreme Court decide on that. Kasi right now, there are conflicting legal opinions on so-called legal experts. One saying that resolution would suffice, another one is saying it will not. So let's wait for the Supreme Court to resolve it. It's a legal issue, a constitutional issue of that.
Sec, baka pwede po kayo mag-react dun sa SWS survey. Noong September 2019, plus 33 po yung approval rating ni Vice President Robredo, and yung last nilang nilabas for December 2019, naging plus 36 na po ito, or mas mataas ng plus 3, no? Si Senator Soto from plus 61 to plus 62, si Speaker Cayetano tumaas din po. Ano pong reaksyon ng palasyo?
O, edi ibig sabihin, ang pananaw ng mga natanungan, nakita nila na nag-i-improve yung performance ng mga taong yun. Good for them.
Okay. Mag-last question na tayo kay Ace. O, Jenaline. Ace, and then Jenaline.
Secretary, balikan ko yung nuclear. So, ibig sabihin, ano na po yung position ng Philippines with regard to the use of nuclear power for its energy needs? Meron na ba tayong position to formally adopt yung nuclear?
Wala akong... I'll ask Secretary Cusi.
Kasi may implications yun, di ba, Secretary? Merong certain bodies, they want to determine kung ano talaga yung stand ng Philippines regarding... so wala pa, Secretary?
Hindi ko alam ang posisyon niya. But I'll ask him and then we'll issue a statement.
Okay, salamat po.
Follow up.
Sir, follow-up lang. Yung, bali, yung EO po ba is in
Yung
preparation?
alin?
Yung EO on nuclear energy, is this in preparation for the implementation ng agreement with Russia?
I'm not familiar with that.
Okay. Last two, Jeneline and then Vance.
Sir, the President has appointed Dante Jimenez as the new ICAD co-chair. May we know the reason behind this appointment?
I think Mr. Dante Jimenez will be having his press con after me. You can ask him. I think he knows the reason why. I don't know. The president didn't tell me, and we did not discuss it.
Sir, but
You ask him because he will be having his press con. You're all invited.
Sir, what are the palace expectations from the new ICAD co-chair? Do you think he will do a better job than the Vice President?
I'm sure Mr. Dante Jimenez can respond to that.
No, from the palace, sir, your expectations
Well,
from
because I haven't talked to the president regarding the new appointment.
Okay,
I
last question.
understand he'll be having his press con at 2 p.m.
Okay. Last question, Vance. Microphone, Jeneline.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. According to Senator Gordon, sinasabi niya na may mga ilang nakuha siyang impormasyon regarding this sa mga Chinese Filipinos na gumagamit umano ng mga pangalan nitong mga deceased Filipinos na gumagamit ng pangalan bilang kanilang identity through local registry, civil registry. Any reaction on this?
Di ba sabi ko we welcome that expose of Senator Gordon, and if he can provide us with certain information on the reports, so that we can do something about it.
Okay, thank you. No more MPC? No more question? Thank you, Secretary
Thank
Panelo.
you.
Thank you, MPC. Back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television Network.